What's up, guys? So I'm going to go over a couple of tickers here real quick that I mainly trade and going to update my technical analysis on them. But before I get into the charts, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, leave a comment below, give me some feedback to let me know that you want to see more of these videos and kind of what you're doing in the markets. It helps the channel grow, and ultimately I want to reach more people and help them learn as well. Also, if you're not in the Discord, the link's in the description below. If you want to check it out, it's completely free for right now. But let's get into the charts. So I'm going to start with SMCI. The monthly chart has a monthly inside bar. We had that large upper wick last month, and right now we have an inside bar selling off. Any consolidation here, we're ultimately looking for a monthly higher low compared to this range down here to form. But we have a lot of space to work with, so we can really pull back pretty good. Mainly, I'm looking for this 8 to get touched at some point, and then eventually this 20 will. That's been a very long time since that's happened. And then when you go down to this weekly chart, we're still pulling back, trying to find our weekly higher low. This could have been it. Weekly inside bar, bear break, and we're still, in my eyes, trying to find it because this is one swift motion down. And we're losing the 8 exponential. We're getting close to it. Right now we're closing above it, but it's really getting tested. And if that goes, I'd look to this 20 to be tested next. So now I'm on this daily chart. I know it's a little busy, but basically we have this head and shoulders pattern. That's our neckline. And we just broke through it, closed below it today. The target is significantly lower on this. So the measured move of this would bring this to just a hair above $500. So there's a lot more downside if this confirms and goes through. Right now, though, I have a hard time trading this personally anymore. Like I said, the volume's tapering off. We have earnings coming up here in a couple of weeks. So right now we're above the 50. I'm thinking we could try to test this. Maybe the market goes bullish for a little bit. This pushes up. It's going to be chop. That's why I stopped trading it, because theta and volatility is going to dry up, so your contracts are going to get destroyed. And I just didn't want to trade it. Right now I altered this hourly trend line based off of that last pump up. This is where I got faked out myself, where I switched my thesis, thinking that this was previously the buy zone and we were tightening up and we could have pushed for one more push up. But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. It could, but I'm not trading it. I just altered these trend lines for this touch here, this here, and basically all the closes there. So if the bulls can get any kind of momentum, you want to see increasing bull volume. A close above this trend line would be significant. Right now, though, they're going to have to contend with this resistance zone. It was a buy zone before. Traded in that for a little while. You see we wicked, bounced off it there. Flushed below, came up, rejected, rejected. That's the zone you want to break. And on some volume and start changing trends. You have to start on the hourly and then move up to the daily chart and start changing this as well, which there's a lot of work to do here. Bulls are below the 20 period moving average, the 8. We broke the neckline. We're below this trend line. The only thing is this 50 right now. We have this buy zone right below, which is why I'm like, I don't really want to trade this right now, because we could come down here and just bounce and chop again into this earnings. So to me, it's not worth it. I went the quick moves. This is definitely trending down, which is nice, but I'm not a fan of how it trades. The volume's light. It's not really telling me it wants to waterfall, so I'm going to stay away from this right now. But basically, bears want to pick up some volume here. This is really light. You want to grab some volume. Ultimately, take out this buy zone. Go fill this gap. There's a lot of check mark for the bears right now. And the daily downtrend, below the 8, below the 20. We still have this buy zone to contend with where we pivoted last time. So I'm thinking we could bounce here anytime soon, chop up into this earnings coming up, and then go from there. A lot of things are going to be dictated by the market, like normal. and I'm still looking for the market to sell off eventually. I don't know if that's going to be at post earnings or pre earnings. We do have some key information coming out this week that could change that direction. So keep an eye out on market behavior. So keep an eye out on the markets as a whole. And we don't want to see certain levels break. I did make a video on that before this one if you want to check that one out. But right now, my guess, and it's just a guess, is that we're probably going to bounce, tighten up into this earnings report and go either direction, upside or downside. So like I said, I'm not trading it. It's definitely bearish shorter term, but monthly, weekly is still bullish in my view. So I'm not trading it. Like I said, it's going into earnings. I would love for this. I would love for this to tighten up a little bit more. Like maybe make that our pivot off a 2-day chart. This our pivot, bounce off this, set a lower high, pull back, higher low, tighten up, play straddle or play the break. It should get a nice break after that too. But that's all I have for SMCI. It's pretty bearish right now. It's relatively weak compared to the market. The market was in a tightening range where this flushed down, bear flag basically, no follow through, pushed up. So the bulls are trying to hold down here. Really, again, if you go out to this 2-day chart, this is bearish. This is really bearish. But you have your all-time high, higher low, lower high. We're looking for a higher low on this 2-day chart compared to this. So in my view, this price is the most important, 855.08. It's in the buy zone. Like I said before, we're right around the 50-period moving average on the daily, but we're closing below the 20 and the 8 on the 2-day chart. I'm still leaning that this could get a bounce around here temporarily, maybe set a lower high, and then that's when we roll. Or like I said, bounce, lower high, higher low, tighten up into earnings. I don't see this just pushing out of nowhere. With how much resistance is built up, the chart looks pretty bearish, but we will have to see. You want to see high volume coming in here to really illustrate if there's a bigger move coming. As far as Nvidia, we're just cooling off the monthly chart right now. Inside bar on a monthly. Weekly still looking for its higher low. We're above the 8 exponential. Still bullish there. Right now on the 2-day chart, you'd say this is your last low, lower high, looking for a higher low. We could tighten up into earnings for a push up. I still anticipate this gap to fill, this weekly gap. You can see on the 2-day chart, we're coming into the 20-period moving average, which we've had this whole time since our breakout. So I can see us definitely pushing up, tightening up as earnings come out. We have bank earnings starting the end of the week, and then that should kick off the rest of these earnings here. NVIDIA's earnings aren't until the 22nd of May, so there's a lot of time there yet. But they were really good last time, so I can see this trying to run into those earnings as well. Just going to have to take it day by day. So sort of what I'm looking at is to see if we can confirm this candle, go fill this gap on the weekly chart. And what I'm personally looking for is seeing if this low of today breaks. So we had our flush down, pushed up. If we confirm that low break, this is our new daily lower high, and we can look for further downside. I'm debating playing that tomorrow. So the other stock that I'm looking at is Tesla, and if you've been following this channel at all, I think this stock poses the most potential upside in the longer term future. So it's one that I think is personally, in my view, discounted on the fact of robotics and anything project-wise outside of the car company itself. This stock is massively undervalued, and it's been bouncing off of my zone that I have down here. You see we got our initial push up. So you can see on this daily chart, so you can see here that we had our inverse head and shoulders that I was calling out. We broke the neckline. Our target was 200. Got close to that gap fill. Started to consolidate. And then we had delivery numbers come out They were much lower than expected, and the stock sold off. And then we start to push up again, bouncing off of this zone here, this dashed green line I had. And then we had a report come out that was false, that they were scrapping their lower priced vehicles, and the stock tanked. Elon Musk came out and said that that was fake news, and then released that they were going to release their robo-taxis August 8th. The stock rallied, and now it's relatively strong. We have that double bottom on the daily, and between all this structure here, if we can get above this price of 184.25, that wick, that'll be over a month's worth of bears that have shorted down here that'll have to cover, and I'd imagine we'd rally pretty strong after that. You can see right now we're above the 20, the 8 exponential, so we're starting to get constructive here. We have a base building. We have this gap to fill up here. Our inverse head and shoulders target was this, and we have another gap here. I'm looking for over 200 a share, honestly. The thing is, with the market as a whole, if we get that pullback again, that's going to disrupt this, which is why I'm not really hitting the gas hard on it. We have earnings coming up here in about 2 weeks. That's a coin toss. Earnings are always a coin toss on how the market interprets that. But this is also something I've been looking at longer term as far as this pattern. And I pointed this out videos ago that you have many touches up on this upper trend line. And I have 2 touches down here just to see if this is a tightening triangle. And eventually get a longer term break for massive upside potential. If you think about it, you have NVIDIA rallying, super microcomputer, all these tech stocks running on AI right now, and Tesla's left in the dust. Tesla's working on robotics. They just talked about robo-taxis. Now, I'm not saying that's going to come out tomorrow. I'm just saying they have a lot of potential here, and for some reason they are being completely thrown under the bus. And this stock has a lot of potential to have significant upside with AI. So this is the one I think a lot of people are sleeping on, and I think poses the biggest upside potential in the next couple of years. So it's one I'm extremely bullish on. I don't want to buy when things are overpriced. I'd rather buy when they're underpriced, and I think it's a deal. And down here, I think it's a deal. The technical analysis pattern, if it holds true, would indicate we have a significant squeeze coming by the end of this year. Really, you want to get closer to this apex. So by October, you can see that's really tight, and we could see, Q4 break of massive upside. So that's just all that I'm going to go over today. Just a couple of stocks that I'm looking at. It's the ones that I really keep an eye on lately anyways. If you want me to cover any stocks in the future, just leave a comment below. Let me know what stocks you're interested in, and I'll try to do some analysis on those. Right now, I'm only trading a handful of ones that I see opportunity in. Also, if you made it to the end of this video, appreciate the support. I have the link to the Discord in the description below. It's completely free for right now. Check it out. Doing the growth account challenge every Friday. I deposit $100 into there and going to see how I can compound that throughout this year. I also have the free trading floor, which is where I post throughout the day my technical analysis, my thoughts, and what I'm kind of doing in the market as well. This is new. It's about 1 month in, and I'm determining how I'm going to go about doing this. I mainly scalp, so I was calling out my trades. I'm getting feedback that sometimes it's hard to follow those because they're pretty quick in and out. So I'm debating how I want to change this going forward. Ultimately, I was going to do that live on a headset with members, but that's something I'm not doing right this second. I do plan to do this 1,000 to 25K challenge, and I'm asking members about that right now. So I'm going to start planning that out in the future. I'm just not sure the date that I'm going to start it. And then you can follow along with how I would grow a $1,000 account and try to hit 25K in 1 year. So that's going to be with options. The small account challenge is purely with shares right now. So if you want to join the Discord, the link's in the description below. If you have any feedback for me, please leave it in the comment section below. If you want me to cover tickers or anything at all, support's much appreciated. And until next time, I wish you the best in the markets.